Hello, today is August 5th, 2025. This is SIG Node weekly meeting. Welcome, everybody. We have many items on agenda. So we will start with Philippe about node lifecycle.
Hey, sorry about the noise, but yeah, I will give a short update about the node lifecycle working group. So we've had a couple of meetings already. We started looking at the eviction request API proposal that we have been discussing. And in the last session, we had a presentation from Uber about their internal systems and how do they work and their plans of like upgrading their infrastructure and like the things they would like to see in Kubernetes. And we have like plans to have other presentations from other companies in future meetings. I think we already have like 3 of them proposing to have like following topics. So yeah, just take a look at the agenda and like see what interests you, or like if you would like to present some of your use cases that you would like to see fixed, we would be happy to hear from you.
Yeah, is there recordings? There is a question in chat as well.
Yes, there are recordings, but we are still missing like the recording from yesterday. So we will be like putting that this week to the agenda and to the playlist.
Thank you. Okay, we're moving on with Natasha or Tim.
Hey, yeah. So I just want to talk a little bit about in-place pod resize. It went to beta in 133 and stayed in beta in 134. We're hoping to GA it in 135. Feels like functionality is complete, no blocking issues. We're expecting user feedback to come in soon. I just wanted to check in with this group if there are any thoughts or concerns on this, or are we good to continue?
There's no concerns. Did we get, I think mainly we look for feedback from production use cases, right? So want to ensure we capture that.
Yeah, that's on our radar. We're expecting to get that in the next few weeks or months. And then if anything comes up, we'll bring it back to this group. If not, I think we should be good. Sergey?
Awesome. Yeah.
Same. I don't think there are concerns, but I was asking about cluster autoscaler, if they manage to use it, or like what is there a cap that tracking, and what stage of this cap is?
For VPA integration, I think it's in alpha upstream currently. I'm not sure what their timeline is to go to beta, but the alpha integration is done and available.
And also that one, even is alpha, and also I know some production already have some like the public preview out. So that one also can help us to get more feedback on the in-place pod resizing feature, as a node feature.
Great. If there's nothing else, sounds like we're good on this. Thanks.
Next up is Divi.
Yeah.
Am I saying right? Okay.
It's Divya actually, but it's fine. Regarding the request, so actually in containerd 2.1, C group writable configuration was added to make sure in containers with C group v2 enabled. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So regarding the C group writable configuration that was added in containerd 2.1, so it is there to make sure that the C group interface is mounted with read-write permissions. But now in order to update the field, the user needs to stop the existing workloads, change the containerd config, and restart the service, and that needs to be done on every node. So I was thinking for easier adoption, and since most of the runtimes already have a something similar field for writable C group, I was thinking if we could expose this field via CRI so that it will be easier for the users to change this. And I just wanted to know if anybody has any thoughts or concerns regarding this. I do have a draft cap, but I wanted to make sure if things look in right direction so that I can go ahead with it. Also, I have posted in the channel, SIG Node channel. So if anybody have any thoughts or concern, they can post it there as well.
Yeah, so thanks for raising it. So mainly I would lead with the use cases, right? Like when we talk
Okay.
about writable, is
Mm.
it nested C groups that are writable? Or if you're touching the pod C group itself, then I would be very worried because a container, like anything within the pod should not be able to modify its own limits. So when I think writable, it's having control under the tree, not on its own pod level C groups. So maybe if you can give a couple of lines around what the motivation is, what the use cases are.
Oh, got it. Basically, it will be like the nested level only, container level, not the pod level.
Okay.
So that's the main use case. And also, I'll write in detail in the channel itself so that we can have more discussion here and I'll not take much more time.
So one use cases I can quickly to update because we want to evolve Kubernetes to support the array, right? So for the array, and they allocate a sign of the tasks, which is the process, the child process of the relate. And so that's why we are agreed to enable of the writable because that's kind of like the huge improvement for the reliability. This is the one of the use cases what I have. But there are other use cases because in the past, the writable at the container level also came to talk to us before. So, but because it's the niche where fill real use cases before read cases. So then we didn't prioritize. I just want to say, Divya, maybe you have some different use cases here, but at least the read we can like the one plan to do this for eval for the read. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, there are several use cases here. And also, I've attached the issue in the container which contains all the use cases that we wanted. So one of this is like currently I work at GitLab, and there we provide repository level isolation by setting individual CPU and memory limits for each repository, and that requires writable access to C groups for unprivileged containers as well. So for each repository, we provide a different isolation level. Other than that, some other people, I think someone mentioned also that their use case was Docker in Docker. For example, if somebody wants to delegate the C group and they can start Docker inside a K2 pod. So this is the link of the issue. I'll just write in the chat if somebody wants to take a look, and it contains all the details and every use cases which were required at that, which you want to apply. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah, I think just one more point. So yeah, I'll read through the use cases. Thank you. So Don, I think this reminded me of your proposal of dynamically changing the pod and adding containers. But
Totally.
the thing is, in that case, I would imagine that the containers that are being added will be declaratively saying how much resources they are using, and a privileged thing outside will be managing that, right? Whereas in this case, like if you're opening it up for writes, then things are much more dynamic. Again, there will be.
So all these kind of align with that make to evolve Kubernetes support the Gen AI machine learning workload is make a lot of things more dynamic, elastic, right? So what about my proposal and also make that the pod itself mutable, can add and remove of the container. And I think we made more progress so that even have the pod level resource is kind of like the guarantee we can move toward that direction. But this one actually is even more because for read, not just read, I believe, and other workload, you have to manage of the process even further at the resource level. It's more like the chip. Even I'm thinking about on the system container boot up, right? So anyway, you have to create off. That is not today's use case, but in long run, we can create off the most sub-C group and track of the resource usage to improve the overall reliability, right? So cost base. So that's kind of the align with those things, yeah. Currently, actually, the RE is a hacking way. I talked to the RE community and any scale engineer. So right now we are hack the whole thing by just directly using NRI. So Divya, the proposal is more like the maybe make that is more easy adopt. But I haven't looked at the cap and the design, but that's align at least the direction what we are talking about. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. So should I start with the cap, or is there anyone else should I collaborate with if if there's something already being done, something similar?
You can start a cap, and I believe the people help on community on this particular engineer is Chris. I'm not sure Chris today is here or not, but I can connect you. I can ping you, ping him through your issue, and yeah, connect you too. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, I would also wonder whether we need code API to be changed to enable that, not to just CRI.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Philippe again.
Yeah. So as I said, we've been going over the eviction request API. To recapitulate, the eviction request API is basically trying to create a new API for eviction, which would be declarative and driven through a Kubernetes object. And we are like this allows us to introduce some new concepts to the eviction, basically to make it so that we can postpone the eviction and make it more graceful, and also to support integration with other like actors and components. And we have introduced a new concept called interceptors, which basically allows to like each like component or organization to define their own like interceptor that can interject in the like eviction process. And like we've been defining these interceptors in annotations. So basically we just have like the interceptor class, which is just a domain name of the actor and the priority of the interceptor. But we are like running into limitations of annotations. So basically the length of the fields, or I mean of the key. And so basically it's hard for us to define long domain names. And also we would like to introduce a lot of validations regarding these interceptors, basically like what kind of priorities they can have, and maybe have groups of interceptors. So like this goes like beyond our initial use case, and we've had like short discussion about this, and the best solution seems to be to have it as a part of pod API, which is allow us to properly define the fields and the validations. And so like yeah, I would like to like gauge what are your thoughts on this, and like how do you see this feature?
I don't know if I'm talking for others, Philip, but I'll have to just rejig my memory on the whole proposal and where it stands right now. So do you have an updated, I see a link. Is that a link to an updated enhancement?
Yes, we are like it still has not been merged, so we are still discussing like the bits and pieces, like what should be done. But the proposal is up to date, like what is the current state. But as we have had discussions in the working group node lifecycle, we will maybe like change some of the features. But yeah, but this is like in a working state. That we would like to like see something similar to this.
Okay, all right. I'll read through the cap, but I think at some point it will be good to summarize and just put a couple of slides and do a walkthrough of the proposal as it stands now, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I can do like a proper update or like a walkthrough through the cap like in the future. Like we are still like, as I said, reworking the bits. So yeah, so I was just wondering if like you see like anything blocking adding like such a new field to pod API so that I could like I can rework the proposal. We still have the annotation approach, but I would like the proposal to change it to the pod API. So I was just wondering if you have like any preferences regarding that.
I think, yeah, API over annotations for sure, if we can agree on the shape of the API is without knowing all the details. Don, Sergey, if you get thoughts.
If we prove the use cases and ratio, I'm totally okay as the first class field supported by pod. But I feel like the using the annotation first maybe can help us to understand right how the flow and all those kind of things. So you are not I don't know. I always think about annotation can give us more, maybe boost at the earlier development time, prototyping faster, and give us a little bit of velocity. And then we can understand how the flow and the whole design. Then we can, at the same time, think about what kind of field, what kind of first. So, but I'm open if that's the validated cases. I never have the one size fit all policy on these kind of things, at least.
Yeah, I recommended to Philip to go the API route after Joel mentioned it. We talked a little bit about it at the Node Lifecycle meeting because it feels to me like, yeah, if we're like, I think we're in the process of proving out the use cases, but if this is something that we want, then I feel like the time of doing annotations is a little bit like, I don't love the pattern of using annotations as a stopgap measure because then it makes the like, if we eventually want a pod level API, I think we should design the pod level API and be patient about the design process and making sure that it is actually completely covering the use cases that we want it to, rather than like hurriedly doing an annotation approach and then needing to at some point along the line translate those annotations into a pod level API. I know we're going through this with like the app armor support now, and it just like makes little pains. So I think if this is something that we can agree on that we want, then I feel like doing it legitimately the first time makes the most sense to me.
I don't know, Philip, if you probably, I guess we'll have to look at the details of the proposal to to give you more precise guidance.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah, I was just trying to see like if I get like a major pushback on this. So like it seems like we don't have like major concerns. So yeah, if you don't mind, I would like change the cap to the pod level API. And like as also Peter mentioned, like if we want to change this after an alpha or making a second alpha, like it because we expect these annotations to be used like by like not just by us but by other actors, like it the migration path would be a bit difficult. So and I see like the people we are talking to like in the group, they seem to keen like to adopting this. So like if like yeah, so that's like one of the main advantages I see, that we would be spared of the migration. But yeah, since there is no major pushback, yeah, I will try to change like update the cap, and then I will come back again to the SIG Node meeting and do like a proper presentation.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, one of the big goals of working group was to collect all the use cases together and combine them. Like, what would be really unfortunate to have many API fields representing similar concept for different scenarios. That's why working group is very useful here.
Yeah, and to add to that, like since this API is like quite major, so like we expect to see like a lot of feedback from the working group before like we will go forward with this API to make sure like we are doing the right thing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think the next item is from me. I just wanted to highlight that we still have a whole page of issues marked as important soon or critical urgent. Some of them we know about. It's like we lost some. We need to rewrite some tests because we don't have registries like private registries anymore. So we're working on fixing that. We have couple bugs, but we also have many test failures, and I know Francesco working on some serial tests, and but we have more. So I will be triaging this query more. Like I did some posts today morning, but I will try to remove issues from milestone if it's not in milestone. But I would encourage everybody to just take a look, and if you can help, please do. That will be very useful. I don't know if it's useful to go through these issues together with such a big group. Maybe we can, like, if you're interested to help, maybe join tomorrow's CI meeting and we will go through these issues all together. Okay, if there's no questions on that, Peter, you're up.
Yeah, this is just sort of a quick announcement. Like, we're approaching the docs deadline, and SIG Node has historically struggled to keep up with documentation deadlines. So we end up getting a little bit more scrutiny from SIG docs, and I don't want to disappoint them this time. So if anyone has reviewer bandwidth for any of the outstanding doc PRs, they need technical reviews and they need to be merged, I think, by tomorrow. So it's like coming up. And then also, if anyone promised a blog, those are also due this week as well. So if you got documentation that needs doing, make sure that it's up to date, and you can rely on the Wranglers a little bit. We have a SIG Node Wranglers chat in Kubernetes Slack if you need help rallying reviews, but generally, let's try to keep ahead of it so we don't disappoint SIG docs again. Done?
Sorry, have you finished yet, Peter? I have the question actually to the Sergey, the topic.
Yeah, that was the full announcement. So yeah, go ahead.
Sergey, what's the output result we expected? Because I just go through that quickly scan through that list you shared. First, thanks for sharing that list. But then I quickly find there's at least the two issue actually people reach out to me. One, it is this one, the risk condition at the initialization, no, the boot up time for the shutdown manager, right? So and the release team actually refused to, because there's the testing, there's the code fix, and also review, but I believe release team still refuse to merge API. So what output you expected? So that's why even I say, okay, from SIG Node we agree to merge. That's on the same last week, I think, maybe even before last week. Even that they refused the merge. So
No, we didn't refuse. SIG release didn't refuse anything. SIG release just merely gives recommendations. We need to decide whether it's critical enough, and like we had like chat with Peter offline to understand, like, if this issue deserves to be cherry picked, then we need to merge it in 134. If it's not deserved to be cherry picked, we can merge it in 135 and we cannot move it into 134 release. So yeah, I think on this specific issue with race condition, maybe we can discuss it now. We need to understand how critical it is and whether we want to, like, if we think that next step we will do is cherry pick to 134 and like all the way to 131, then we need to take it for this release. And that's the question. Like, if you don't believe it's critical enough, it stays in 135 and like we just remove it from milestone.
yeah, I think the 135 should be okay. But I remember even that release team suggests it's not 1.35, instead the current one will be instead later to 1.35.1. That's the suggestion. So that's why I ask you what's your expectation, because this one even I comment and earlier the code is ready before last minute but the review is not before. So that's why I ask you, and because there are many other thing even haven't reviewed or maybe even don't have the PR for yet. So that's why I asked you.
Yeah, then we need to remove them from milestone. I just did a very small initial triage. So I guess one thing we can do is we had precedence in this release. Like if it's deserved to be in cherry pick, then there is still time. I mean, at least last week it was okay to merge in 134. This week it's a little bit more tricky, but we still can do that if it's critical enough.
My point is, if our SIG, I think this is good thing. We should do this earlier, and so then we not just have feature, and we are basically allocate the time. This the SIG node, the bandwidth and the review bandwidth include, and to fix the bugs. That's good thing. I think this is a good practice. I just want to say that maybe we should align and make sure of the release team also align with us, because otherwise we put engineer. Because I did put this, there's the two things I put engineer. Say, can you take a look, fix the bug? But it's not merged at all. So it's basically just open here, and yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole exercise to understand priority and whether we can squeeze it into release. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, if there is no more questions, we can adjourn. Thank you, everybody. Bye.